Hi and welcome. I'm going to be showing you how to do something fun today. I've not done these before, so this is new for me, so bear with me. I'll try not to say too many times. So what we're going to do is there's the transfer a photo to Canvas. Now there's a lot of ways to do this. First thing you want to do is hit your printout of your photo. I suggest always use a laser printer. Some people like the inkjet, but with the inkjet, I find that a lot of times the color runs. Black and white, maybe not so bad, but when you're using color, it does. I'm not using color today. I'm using a black and white photo. We're going to see how this works. And a lot of times people also just put it right down on there and they go ahead and do the sides as well. We're not. We're going to trim this picture to fit a little bit better on our canvas today. Another thing you're going to need, then of course, to cut out the picture, scissors. You're going to need a paintbrush. A large soft brush is always nice to have. Liquitex gel medium. You're going to take the gel medium and you're going to get it on your canvas. And I already started putting it on the canvas. I actually started this video a few seconds ago and then the phone rang and I had to stop the video. So we're going to try this again. So anyway, so you're just going to take and brush the gel medium on, the Liquitex gel medium. Okay. Again, if you were going to do the sides, if you were going to fold it over, you would put the gel medium on the sides too. But since we're not doing the sides, I'm just going to put it on all of the front here. Once I've got it all on there, I'm going to take the flat brush and try to smooth it out a little bit. Doesn't always work, but we want to try to get it as smooth as we can. We don't want a bunch of lines going through it if we can help it. We do want to make sure we get enough gel medium. The problem with this is it sometimes scrapes it all off, so we do want to be careful with that. And I do see that there's something, a little dry piece of the Liquitex there. Problem is with Liquitex, if you have done as many as I have and this jar is almost empty, then around the sides it's drying up a little bit, and then I've probably got a few little paper spores in there. So anyway, once I get my canvas to where I want it, which I'm going to put a little bit more on. I'm just going to go right into it with the brush, and I really probably shouldn't, but going on. Once I get it on here to where I like it, just trying to smooth it out as much as you can. You're not going to get all the lines out. I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen that way. You got to be patient. And that's where, you know, if you're starting to get frustrated, it's where a good cup of tea comes in. So when you're not getting it as flat as you want, and take you a nice drink of tea. You want to always have something under your canvas. Of course, you got to be careful not to get it on other places like I just did here, because that dries up and it's like glue. This mat here is a sewing mat. On the other side has the measurements for sewing. I really would love to have a silicone mat someday. So, but for now, this is what we have. So once we get it as smooth as we think we're going to be able to get it, and I'm just going to do one more swipe down here. Just going as soft as I can to try to get some of the lines out. And I'll show you this. So once I get it on there, I'm going to go ahead and trim my photo, which I could have done before the video, I guess, but I wanted you to see it. Another thing, make sure that you have no gel medium on your hands when you go to touch your picture, because if you get it on the back, it makes it really hard when it's time to get it off. So I'm just going to trim this picture just a little. Okay. Go up the side here. I'm just going to have to eye it. A paper cutter, another great thing to have. That way you don't have to eye it as much and get it crooked. That's the problem without a paper cutter, is just getting it just right. Another thing I do, so now I've got it trimmed. Okay, I've got that ready. This is all dry. There's no gel medium there, so I can set it down. I'm going to take my brush, and I'm just going to put a small coating on my page. Now, like I said, you don't want to get it on the back side. That's where you don't want to get it. On the part that you're going to do, it's okay. Now, something to remember too is if your picture has words in it, say you're doing a photo and your friend has a t-shirt on and the t-shirt says, "God bless you," which is a great thing to say. You want to make sure you mirror your photo image before you do this, because when you do it, it's going to turn it around backwards, and then your words would be backwards. And unless you purposely try to do that, or unless the word is wow, then you want to, okay, so now I've got my gel medium on my paper. I don't, again, want to get it on the back because that's where we're going to be touching. We're just going to put this on our canvas. You want to be careful putting it on the canvas. Make sure you've got it right where you want to put it. And as you see, my edges, I didn't cut enough. So they're going to kind of overlap underneath there. So all I'm doing now is I'm just going to smooth this out on the canvas. Just going to smooth it out. And you may have gotten, if you got too much gel medium, it's going to wrinkle a little, but that's okay. I did get a little bit on the edges of the gel medium, so that's going to work for the folding. And sorry, I keep forgetting to look up at the camera. So we can fold this over just a little. The problem is you're going to get it on your fingers. Once you get it on your fingers, you can't touch your paper. So one thing I like to do, which I did forget to bring over with me, so I'm just going to borrow this from Mr. Ted. It just said wake me up when he got up. I'm going to put another piece of paper right over top of it. That way now, if I hit any of that glue, it's with this and not my fingers. Once I get it smoothed down, I can push on the edges here, just like this. Okay. And if I get any glue on me, I'm touching this paper, not the one that's on there. All right, and then I'm going to carefully, though, peel this back off. And I'm going to, unfortunately, that's one tree gone, but it was just a note. It was already used, so it's like recycled. I can take another flat brush just over top of it without touching any of those other parts, just to kind of, oh yeah, this is adhering beautifully. And if you could see it, you'd be able to see the, see it there, but it is going great. So what I'll do now is I'm going to wipe off the edges, and I take a piece of the scrap paper here to do that. Pull it up there. Take that off. All right, now we're going to give it about a few minutes, and then we're going to smooth it again. So we've got our brushes here. I'm just going to set that on top of that. You want to make sure, I did a boo-boo. I left the lid off of this while I was doing that. You really shouldn't do that because this will dry up quick, and it is expensive. It's about $15.99 a container. I've done probably 15 photo transfers with this. While we're waiting for this, I'm going to come over closer to the computer there, and I'm going to show you some of the photo transfers I've already done. In the beginning of the video, I had said I've not done this before. I meant I've not videotaped myself doing this. So, but I want to show you the ones that I have done. So we're going to cut from here, and we'll be right back with some pictures I've already done. All right, so I've come a little closer so that you can see these a little bit better. This one, a friend of my son's took a photo of him, and I was able to transfer this one on there. This one is a black and white of my husband's mom and dad. You'll see that not always does it come out perfect, but that's okay. If it doesn't come out perfect, you can either paint over it or leave it to get that more antique rustic look, which this has hung in my living room for many years now, and it's still holding up great. This is my favorite. This is the best one I think I've ever done. Unfortunately, I don't know who took the picture, so it would never be sold. It'll always be in my home, which is fine because I love it that much. But that's this one here. Now, this one did not come out perfect. It had a lot of areas that I had to repaint. I had to repaint in some of the bushes here, the lighting here, some of the trees and the sky over here. I had to do all of that. So, but it turned out perfect. And I did paint the edges blue and white just so that we had more of a blending to it. So let's go back. It's been a few minutes. We're going to go back to our work here and we will see how it's doing. We're going to smooth it out again. You're going to do that, I would say, every 10 minutes. Go back to it and just smooth it a little bit. Don't push too hard. Your paper will rip. That glue is wet in the bottom, the Liquitex gel medium. You want to make sure that you are just smoothing it softly. Doesn't have to be real rough. I do that probably about 3 times, and then it'll sit for 24 hours and dry. So let's go back to our painting. I'll be right back with you. All right, and we're back. We're back to our picture. It's over here drying. It's got a few little wrinkles, as you can see. Well, you probably can't see from there. So what we're going to do is softly, carefully, make sure our hands are dry. We're going to just smooth it out some more. Now on some of these, you cannot see through the paper to see the photo, so you won't know where wrinkles are and all of that. But sometimes, like on this one, I can really see really well the picture, so I can see that the wrinkle is like right on my face there. So I want to try to make sure I get that out. I want to make sure I smooth that down well. But if I can't, we'll just have to paint it in when we're done. But we want to try so that we don't have that. Again, that dry brush is always good because that helps you not to push down so much, especially, you know, if you're afraid you're going to rip your paper, or you've noticed that you did put too much Liquitex and your paper's kind of starting to rip. You want to just use this. You want to do this probably a few times, like I said. Now this is a great canvas. It doesn't have a sink to it. But some canvases that are the cheaper canvases, they may sink a little. So you've got your open part on the back of your canvas. You could put a book in there to kind of give it more stability when you're pushing down on this. However, this one, as you can see, I've got it taped on the back because of the painting to keep it clean there. So that's why I can't do that with this. But it's nice and tight, so I don't have to really worry about it. I'm just going to smooth it a little bit more. And it'll dry for 24 hours. 24 hours you want it to dry before you start anything else. So unfortunately, that's all we're going to be able to do today. We're going to wait for this to dry. I will come back tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.